Hey guys, so I just wanted to give you a little bit of a strategy and a visual representation that we're hopefully going to use for next game. They're going to run with the same formation that we did before. We're going to run the 3-2-1-2. So you've got 3 fullbacks, 2 halfbacks or midfield, 1 center striker, and 2 forward strikers. With this position, with this formation, with this formation, we should have a lot of an easier time trying to form up on defense and keeping their shots and scoring chances down to a minimal. It's a heavily stacked defensive formation. So if you're going to be back at defense, your jobs are essentially as defense to keep them out of the penalty area. We want to do everything we can to keep them out of this zone. This is where a lot of their shots are coming from, and this is where a lot of where their scoring are coming from. It's very hard for me to save any goal or shot that's coming from inside this area. So as defense, we want to keep them out of this area or not give them a chance to set up and shoot from inside this box. Another thing we want to do if you're at defense is not let them get in between you guys and make runs into the penalty area. So if you see one of the offense strikers trying to split you guys or go in between you guys need to back up and get in front of them as well. You want to stay between the ball and the goal. You don't want to let any of the other team get between you or get closer to the goal with the ball than you are. The easiest way to do that is to just, if you're, depending on where you are playing defense, is if you look over and notice that one or two of the strikers for their team has made a run or starting to push into the box, just move over and start contesting them in any way you can. Start blocking them, forcing them out, or not giving them a good chance. So ideally, we would want to force them wide, depending on where you need to go. But if we can't, we want to contest the ball. And basically not give them a straight walk into me because they have a pretty good chance of scoring in there. As well, there's no offsides in this league, so the defense, you want to just watch their strikers and stay with them. You don't want to push up the field if their strikers are still, hanging around near the goal trying to cherry pick. If you're going to be at the left or right halfback positions, what you want to do is you have a job of both supporting the defense on when we're under attack, and then also supporting the offense and starting the breakout when we get the ball back and start pushing up the field. You want to essentially work on this type of line. You want to go straight back and forth and contest the middle if they're coming in to they're driving straight down the middle. But I'll show you that in a later defensive scenario. But you essentially want to work on this type of line, supporting the defense and supporting the offense at the same time. If you're going to be the center striker, your job is to essentially stay a little bit more high on the field than these halfbacks will be. So if the halfbacks drop down to help on defense, you would go down to about here and hold position so you could get the ball, move with the team. If the ball goes over here to this side, you would follow it down that way. If the ball goes over to this side, you'd follow it up that way. Essentially, you want to be the one guy high to get the ball and start turning and going. If you're the two strikers up here, your job is very simple. Your job is to stay, you never drop anything lower than about here for the field on defense. And then when we get the ball, your job is to drive toward the net, either taking it wide and crossing in or going straight at the net. Either one doesn't matter. Just go to the net and put a shot on net. Also, since we don't get that many offensive opportunities, I'd say every shot's a good shot. Shoot everything you can at the net. Now that I've kind of gone over what each position's job is, I'll give you a couple scenarios that might help us out for understanding. So a lot of the time last game, the team that we were playing was taking the ball down wide and crossing it in from this position or this position. What we want to do in that scenario, ideally, would be this. If they're on this side with the ball, this fullback would move and block this cross, basically trying to contest this shot, make them have to do something with it. Don't let them drive inward anymore into the box with the ball. Make them have to make a decision or pass or cross. Take away their time and space, essentially. And when the fullback would drop back, the halfback would come down and cover the open area left by the fullback in a defensive scenario, because there's probably going to be one or two of their guys right here. So when they take it wide, fullback goes back to block and pressure them, and the halfback comes in and fills in defensively for the fullback having left. When we get the ball back, or the ball goes back at the field, positions go back to where you were. Same thing for this side. Comes down, you contest the ball, don't give them time. Halfback comes in, stops, plays defense about here, allowing blocking shots here. In scenarios like this, the center defenseman, you would want to basically move depending on which side the ball's on. If it's there, you want to probably be about here. If it's on this side, you want to be probably about the same spot on the other side. You want to move with the play, both back and forth. Okay, so let's say that their team is trying to take the ball straight into the goal. Either side, it doesn't matter, and they're trying to shoot from inside, the penalty area. What we want to do in a scenario like this is essentially just go to them, whoever has the ball, and pressure them from both sides. But ideally, all of So let's say they're taking the ball straight up the center, going straight for the goal, walking in. What we want to do in that scenario is pressure the ball. So if it's coming this side, we want to have both of our fullbacks start to pressure it, so making them have to force a shot from outside the zone. And they're coming from the other side, same thing. Center fullback and right fullback comes in and starts pressuring them, making them have to take the shot. At this point as well, the halfback should drop back to support defensively on what's going on. Apart from that, we just want to basically keep them out, like I said, out of the penalty area, block them, make them have to take a shot. Don't give them time or space. Okay, it's one more scenario that happens a lot. Let's say they have a corner kick. In that scenario, essentially all I want everybody to do is to pick up a man. So they're going to space themselves out a little bit. Usually they'll drop one guy high and they'll probably put one guy down here. So in that case scenario, you just basically want to cover them. Everybody pick up a man. You would have, basically play man to man for the rest of the time. And everything's covered. Maybe give them that side, and then when they come down, we'll contest them. Okay, so another scenario that happens a lot, that was happening a lot, is corner kicks. So if they have a corner kick and they're going to curl the ball in, essentially If these are strikers for the other team, you just want to move toward them and pick up a man, get on them, cover them. Don't let them get like a good shot into the net. Obviously, beat them in the air to the ball, or don't let them control it. Um, Apart from that, one last final defensive thing that I want to talk about is in the case of if they do get a cross in, let's say they come down the side and they get a cross in, and they cross it to a guy that's just right here. In this case, if they're setting up and controlling the ball, we need to pressure them. A lot of the times last game, you guys would hold back. A lot of defense would hold back a little bit and not pressure them, giving them time to set the ball and then shoot and pick a corner on me, which is incredibly hard to save. I'm probably not going to save it. So what we want to do is, like I said, take away their time and space. Don't give them time to set up and pick a corner. We want to pressure them, essentially. If we start to pressure them and make them have to do something, they're probably going to end up shooting it over, shooting it wide, or not getting a very good shot on me. Hopefully putting it straight to an area I can dive and get it, or right at me, or like I said, wide. So always pressure the ball carrier. Don't let him or her take the ball and control it. Or in the case of them, if they were to get the ball and take it across the front of the goal, just pressure them, be on them. Don't give them time and space to work with it and then pick a corner and shoot. As far as offensive strategies, there's not much I've come up with that we can do. What I will say for that is I have a pretty far kick that I think we can use. If I were to catch the ball and start taking it up the field, the one thing I'm going to do is try to kick it as far as I can. I can guarantee probably get it to about here with a kick. So in that case, I'd ask the strikers to go straight toward the goal and try to get a rebound, and just a weird bounce might happen where we can put the ball in the net. Every time I get the ball and I can take it and actually pick it up and kick it, I will go as far as I can down the field. That's the strategy I've come up with. Our team isn't entirely the most skilled for working the ball up in small little passes. So we're going to have to probably work it up and run the speed. So if anybody can control the ball and take it up pretty fast, that's also an idea to work on. Just general things that we can all improve our game on that will help us. We need to work on controlling the ball. So being able to stop the ball, receive a pass, dribble with the ball, and go and take it up the field on our own, running with the ball, passing. So those two are big, controlling the ball and passing. If we can work on those more individually, our whole skill level as a team will start to rise. We have a game at 6:40 tomorrow. I'll be at the field at around 6 for anybody that wants to come out and practice getting some touches on the ball and wants to see if they can want to run any drills with me. I'll be more than willing to show you guys a few pointers and try to help you guys out right before the game. Anybody has questions about what I said in this video, please let me know. If you have questions about a specific position that you are thinking of playing, let me know. I have a few ideas on who I'd want at specific positions, but nothing too permanent yet. Let me guys know again if you have any questions about anything I said. See you all on Wednesday.